Now, do you want to be even more confused about trying to get a feel for my mindset? Well, let me drop this doozy on you. Okay, so we recently had had Trudeau announce that he is calling an election. Now, what a time to do such a thing. But, I guess he just couldn't resist the opportunity to go against a guy in a turban and a conservative that most people would confuse with a slate of drywall. So, those kind of odds to get a majority government, he just couldn't turn down during the fourth wave. Get out there and vote. Get out there and vote. Hey, cases are going up and everything. Well, Trudeau just couldn't turn down the opportunity to go against guy in turban and conservative nobody can remember. Those are some good fucking odds. So, you kind of get it from his point of view, but from a rational humanist, which he pretends to be a fucking do-gooder liberal, but regardless, no, we have to have this election. Now, the prospect of credit where credit is due to my American brothers and sisters. They did it right as far as fixed term limits are concerned, because the prospect of having Trudeau, or anybody for that matter, in the highest public office for 20 plus years is fucking frightening. You guys had to deal with Trump, but the most you were possibly gonna have to deal with him for was 8 years. I might have to deal with Trudeau for fucking 25. That is an offense to democracy, and it should not be tolerated. And checkmark, credit where credit is due. That's where fucking Americans got it right. And now going back to where I was telling you, I'm really gonna get you confused and twisted with how I intend to vote this election. Now, based on me and what you know about me so far, and the fact that I'm a vaccinated individual, and the fact that that I personally feel that if you do not have a good reason to be vaccinated, if you do not have a good reason to not be vaccinated, if you do not have a good reason to not be vaccinated, that you should be vaccinated. That just saying it's my body and it's my choice, it's not a good enough reason, and it's a little sociopathic, if I may use a very selective, boink, pull out a fucking selective word from the word jar. I think it's very sociopathic to not be vaccinated if you do not have a major underlying health concern, immunocompromised, severely allergenic, etc., etc. If you do not fall under those categories, or if you do not have severe allergic reactions to vaccines in the past, that it is a little on the apathetic and sociopathic side of the ledger. It is not simply just I'm choosing something that is my body. I do what I want. I don't give a fuck about a lot of things, but I think that in a nutshell, that if you're not getting vaccinated and you don't have a really good reason, that I don't get it. But that being said, so who would you think I would vote for with knowing this pretense? Now, you might say, maybe I would vote NDP, or maybe I would vote Liberal, or maybe even, hey, you want to vote Conservative. But none of the above. When the vote is, when we're eligible to vote in September 20th or 22nd or whatever, I will be voting for the PPC, for the People's Party of Canada. What? No, I know, right? Maxime Bernier is kind of anti-vaccination and anti-mask, etc. It's like the COVID issue. Here's how I sum it up: is that the COVID issue is not the number one issue for me. Personally, I think that none of the political parties have got COVID right. So, as confusing as it sounds, if I am given the choice of options that I have, we're eventually either gonna get rid of COVID, or we're gonna have to live with it. There's no two other ways. And at the rate we're going, and as predicted here on the World According to Kyle podcast, maybe it was like number 3 or number 2, I said that people are getting a little too optimistic about this vaccine rollout and the fact that it's gonna fucking cure everything. And I said that there's gonna be maybe just enough people who are not gonna get it, that it's gonna fuck things up. And who knows? Maybe with since they're talking about vaccine boosters and coming out with boosters, that who knows? Maybe the Delta variant will spread so much that the prior shots won't matter. And yes, I will get the booster if it comes out, as long as it's an mRNA vaccine. I'm fine. I'm fine with that. I don't have a problem with putting a synthetic protein in my body. If we're talking about like an actual like virus, or putting in like scant amounts of an actual virus, then maybe, right. But if it's mRNA, I don't have any issues with that. No, I'm not gonna be using fucking horse tranquilizer or whatever the fuck they're using, unless, hey, if it gets rid of COVID, if that's a difference between fucking getting this shit out of the world completely and going on to norm, then I'll fucking do it, I guarantee you. But so I just don't think that it's going anywhere. Liberals have fucked this up. Conservatives have fucked this up. Every ledger down the aisle has not been right about how to handle COVID. So that's going to be the number one issue in voting for a lot of people. But it's not going to be for me, because I realize that everybody tanked this. Okay, nobody had the right solution, and especially in Canada, none of the everything that we were doing was so reactionary. There was no plan. All we're doing is reacting to higher numbers. We're not going in with plans. So to kind of to have like a make or break of the election on specifically COVID is a little stupid, because there's nobody that's really getting this situation correct. But why I am voting for Maxime Bernier of the People's Party of Canada is because at his core issues, aside from not being vaccinated and not wearing a mask, at his core, I think he has the correct vision for Canada going forward. He wants to have a more he wants to be open for business. He wants to have less taxes. He wants Canada to compete with America in a business sense, and to not have the government control every little aspect of our lives through bureaucracy and red tape. He like those are the now. You want to talk about COVID? Fine. You want to talk about whatever gripe you have with him. Those are, at their heart, core issues which are negatively affecting Canada. Is the red tape and bureaucracy and bureaucrats fucking everything up. And besides that, I had this discussion with someone the other day. Is that when we vote for these people, Doug Ford, Trudeau, they can all be overturned by these by the people that they hired in the positions. So you're not actually when you're voting for somebody with a platform, they can get overrun by the chief medical health advisor. They can get overrun by I don't want to vote for people for the face that's telling me what the fuck I'm gonna do. I want to vote for the person that actually has the power to do it. Doesn't that make more sense? I mean, I know politics is kind of outdated, but I mean, for somebody like Trudeau is the leader of the country, and he's the highest office in the country, and so what does that even mean if he has to be subservient to crazy cat lady Davila on every little thing she has to say about the coronavirus? Now, that is something that is an issue with me, and those are things like I think Maxime Bernier will go against very hard. All of our tax dollars that are funding the CBC and these shitty fucking television and radio shows, that your tax dollars are going towards propagandizing you. Okay? That needs to be cut out of the fucking system. That needs to go. That in order for Canada to prosper. The major issue with Canada right now is that we are not business friendly. And that the major issue why all these businesses flock to America is because they have a lower tax rate and that they're treated more fairly. What the fuck, if I owned like a major company, why would you want to fucking build it here? So you can get reamed like 50% in taxes and have your profits taken away from you, so that the government in turn can tell you, so bureaucrats can tell you exactly how to run your business and force you to comply with standards. Who do you think knows better about a business? The owners or the fucking bureaucrats elected by the government? Now, that is a core issue for me, and Maxime Bernier is the only one fighting against that. Now, I did vote for Doug Ford. I did not vote for the People's Party of Canada premiership. Simply for one reason, is that I wanted to make sure Kathleen Wynne didn't get elected. Could you imagine going through coronavirus with fucking Kathleen Wynne as our premier? No, thanks. And every party in Canada, Conservatives included, are in favor of high taxes, high red tape, high bureaucracy, and that's just something that Canada needs to be competing with America. And if we want to stay America's fucking bitch and America's retarded cousin in the north, then keep on doing what we're doing and giving money to all these fucking useless Ministry of Shenanigans and Ministry of cultural diversity and Ministry of fucking this, that, and the other. All these useless fucking positions. How about instead just having entrepreneurs be able to do whatever the fuck they want? Here's something to chew on. It's like Yahoo could have been the next Google, except they had to pay fucking all the money in taxes that they do. Maybe fucking there's like the D-Wave company, the quantum computer company out in BC. See, what's going to happen with them is that they're either going to have to move to the States, or they're going to get 25% more of their profits sucked from them from the government, and they're able to innovate less and create less. We need to be better for business. We need to be at least put them on the same level as everybody else getting taxed. Don't put somebody on a higher tax bracket just because they make more. It's crazy. And the NDP are fucking top nut jobs with this. Jagmeet Singh just announced that he wants to have a 75% capital gains tax, which is insane. We already have a 50% capital gains tax. So if you don't know, if you have an asset and you sell it, and you sell it for more, that is called the capital gain. So what Jagmeet Singh is doing is, so he says he's doing this in order to fight against what's it called? People who are like buying tons of properties and flipping them, like say, you know, people who come here, rich billionaires in other country come here and they buy up shit tons of properties, and then they flip them immediately, or flip tons of them and make tons of capital gain money. But if you're having a 75% capital gains tax, guess who that also affects? Crypto and stock traders, which I am both. And if Jagmeet Singh gets in office and he's trying to tax, and I'm trying to get 75% tax rate on my capital gains that I made with crypto, and I'm off to the fucking Caymans. You will never. If I made a shit ton of money and they're trying to tax me 75% on my capital gains. Canada, you will never fucking see me again. So, so vote accordingly. Maybe you want that. Maybe you want me out of here. So, an NDP vote might be something that you might desire to do to get me the fuck out of here. Maybe that's your core issue. Maybe your core issue is getting fucking the world according to Kyle the fuck out of Canada. Which, can't really blame you. Haters gonna hate. What else is here? What else do I have to go on? Now, I just want to say something really quick. Is that a quick little tidbit of advice to anybody who I'm dealing with is that I have benefited from once having lived with nothing, also known as rock bottom. So there's no way you can coerce anybody into doing what you want by threatening to take petty material things away from them. Like, say, if you are in a relationship, or a roommate, or a friend, or something. Somebody who has once hit rock bottom, that is a benefit from having hit rock bottom, is that nobody in the world can coerce me into doing what I want or doing what they want me to do by threatening to not give me something. It's like I have been at rock bottom. I have lived with nothing. There's nothing you can give or take from me that is going to sway me. That is going to sway me either way. So that is a benefit of having once lived with nothing, of having hit rock bottom. Now, here's a group of people that need to hit rock bottom faster, that maybe they think they've bottomed out, but they're not. Is that now? I'll preface this by saying that I am a weed smoker. I do enjoy the herb, but I don't think like, I'm not a cliche stoner type. I do not like waste away in a couch fucking playing video games or watching Netflix. I just think it enhances what I use it to enhance whatever I'm doing, and it's not a detriment to how I operate. It just gives me a little. It just is a stimulant almost. It just makes me feel better about whatever mundane task I'm doing. But I'm starting to have a little gripe with certain types of people who are just addicted to weed, and like are so addicted to weed that they can't live without it on a day-to-day basis, and they are genuine, melt in the couch fucking stoners who, like, are carrying their bongs around with them, and who need to destroy their lungs in order to get high because they've had THC rolling through their system on a daily basis since like grade 8. Take a fucking break for a little bit. Either that, or there's nothing that's more fucking pathetic than somebody who shows crackhead tendencies with marijuana. Like, am I wrong here? Is there, like, I would almost prefer somebody to get a real hardcore drug addiction and hit rock bottom instead of, like, miserably and oafishly going through life in this kind of semi-comatose zombie-like state because they constantly need to stay high, and they constantly need to smoke in harsher ways and higher quantities. Like, if you're spending fucking $500 a month on weed, and if you need to collapse your lung, and fucking if you're choking your fucking guts out after you and if you can only get high by doing that, fucking get a real addiction, man. There's nothing more pathetic than a fucking pothead who exhibits like crackhead like tendencies with pot. It's just absolutely one of the most fucking pathetic things that I have ever personally seen in my life. It's like that half-baked thing. It's like, this man's a fraud. Boo this man. Boo. I used to suck dick for coke. Boo. That's what you are. It's like, grow up, get a real addiction. Pot is not an addiction. And if it's fucking costing you fucking $500 a month, if you're coughing your lungs out, just take a fucking break for a month. Get the THC out of your fucking system and then start back up again. It's not that hard. I've done it before. I've gone years with smoking pot every day, and then all of a sudden, oh hey, I'm out. I don't have a job now, and just time to quit. And like, holy shit, is like, man, next time I smoke, wow, I do get high. You don't need to smoke it every day. And if you're at the point where it's like, oh, well, yeah, it helps me from like going nuts on people and get a real drug addiction. Hit rock bottom faster, and then, oh hey, all this. Oh wait, hey, now that I have nothing, maybe all this addictive behavior and all this chemical dependency is like really in my own head, and I'm actually harming myself more than I'm doing good because I have a chemical maybe you will start to realize these things once you've done harder drugs. And I hate to advise that, but I mean, it's probably better than going through life like a fucking semi-comatose fucking zombie for the next 20 to 30 years. Take your chances, fucking roll the dice. Hopefully you don't die and get a real fucking addiction. End of story. Next on the docket. I've been having fucking really vivid dreams lately. And normally, like, I forget all my dreams. Like, normally I just, like, I don't even remember them. But I'm, like, recently is, like, weird. I've been just remembering, like, all my dreams are just, I've just been, like, incredibly vivid. And I've been just, I just like, you know, I don't want to get up almost. Like, I'm just like, oh, I'm having fun in in dreamland. And, you know, I'm not the type of person who derives anything like from, or I think dreams have meaning. I think people search too much for meaning in everything and not just accept that things are just there. And, you know, like, I don't, you know, I would not have been very very acceptant of Freudian wanting to fuck your mom like philosophy, but so this one dream that I had, it was like a really crazy. Okay, so like so there was there was a ghost that was and it wasn't like visible or anything, but it was like it was there, it was a presence, it was an entity. And so there was all these things happening around me. And okay, in my dreams, I always know the place that I'm in. Okay, I always know where, like, say it's like, okay, so say for example, like, I know I'm in Calgary in my dream, right? But it looks nothing like Calgary. Like, it's like very the buildings are always connected. It's a very communal type of living where you just kind of wander like in and out of buildings, and you don't really go on the streets. And like it's weird. It's a very like in all my dreams, like I know that this place is this place, but it's not. Like, it doesn't like it doesn't look like it, like in any of my like visions or interpretations of it. But I know it's this place. It's almost like it almost feels like a futuristic version of that place. Like, I know I'm in Calgary, I know I'm in Toronto, but it doesn't look anything like it looks today. All right, so I'm in this like a building. It's like almost like a warehouse type of building, and I'm with a group of people, and like things keep happening to drop people from the group away. And they're not being killed or anything. They're just like, okay, all of a sudden this blast door closes, and then there was, you know, there was 10 of us, and this blast door closes, separating 7 from the 3, and I'm part of the 7. And then we go to the next room, and then someone else decides to check out another room, and then they get locked out, right? So eventually everybody gets isolated away from me, right? And then after I'm the only person in the room, then the ghost reveals, it doesn't reveal itself, but it brings me something, like because I can't see it, so it doesn't reveal itself, but I know its presence because it came and like brought me something, and it wanted me to help it perform a task and like fix this like this weird engine, this engine sort of thing. And like was so it was so trippy, it was so weird. Like, I love these crazy dreams that seem so realistic, and you know, you just, but does anybody else have that where it's like where the places you are in your dreams are like you know it looks nothing, it resembles nothing of the place that you know, but you know it's that place. Do you guys ever have that? Like I like it. That's basically a large portion of my dreams are where I know I'm in places and it's like a futuristic version of that place. Like I knew I was on Yonge Street in Toronto, but it was like such a like an interconnected buildings and interconnected communities where like you just kind of like you just go wherever you please, and the buildings are huge, and they have elevators, and they go so high, and I don't know, it's just there's very there's very specific things about dreams that, and I always like with my dreams, like they're always I always have there's always the good, the like the best possible version of well, sometimes it's like a version of humanity that's like perfected sometimes, like when say you know when like some shit's about to go down, when somebody's about to act out, or when somebody is a little on the edge. In my dreams, like when there's people, when there's a community, everybody goes against that person, and immediately their intuition to detect and attack against a rogue a rogue psychopath or something is just like spot on. Like if anybody is like does anything wrong, it's like we all have this, instead of like people a lot of people ignoring it, or is like, oh hey, they're not fucking with me, we immediately everybody groups up and attacks the person who is trying to harm another, or the group or something. So that's kind of that's kind of like a mainstay in my dreams also, which is kind of crazy. Now it's almost been an hour, and plus we have an hour. So okay, let's finish off on this. Okay, I'm gonna give you 5 musicians where their worst song is played on the radio. So 5 music artists that their absolute worst song is the one that's played the most on the radio. All right, so we'll finish this off with finish off this TWA2K with a nice little list. Here are the 5 musicians that have their worst song as their radio hit. Radiohead with Creep. Now, you can go through Radiohead's catalog, and I'm sure you will come to the same conclusion. And now, right now, for instance, I have an MP3 player. I have like 75 Radiohead songs on there. Creep is not one of them. There's so much good shit by them. Like yeah. Fuck, I'm not even gonna bother naming like the 25 amazing Radiohead songs. Just Creep is their worst song, and it is played the most on the radio. I don't know. The number 2 of this list, there's no particular order, by the way. Bruce Springsteen. They always play Dancing in the Dark by fucking Bruce Springsteen. What other song have you heard the radio play by Bruce Springsteen that's not Dancing in the Dark? They don't play Jungle Land. They don't play Born in the USA. They don't play 10th Avenue Freeze Out. They don't play Rosalita. Like, come on, man. Like, they play, like, it is like, maybe you want to parse out some of his like, okay, like really crappy, but I'm talking about like of his like notable hits. You're gonna say, oh yeah, Dancing in the Dark? Are you fucking kidding me? That Spirited in the night. What about that? Fuck, man. Like, what? Like, what? Like, why do you play this song? It is his, by far, shittiest, even if you don't want to say it's his shittiest song, it's by far his worst, hit single. Don't understand it. Another one. So, number 3, in no particular order, Portugal the Man. They play Feel It Still all the time. Now, I am a huge Portugal the Man fan. In fact, I was talking about recently having seen one of their like online concerts when we were in the thick of the demic, and really enjoying it. But Portugal the Man, Feel It Still, is by far one of their worst songs, and it's catchy and it's good and it's like. But it's not like it's not great Portugal the Man. Now, great Portugal the Man is like Sleep Forever. Great Portugal the Man is So American. Great Portugal the Man is Purple, Yellow, Red, and Blue. Great Portugal the Man is Number 1. Great Portugal the Man is AKA M80 the Wolf. None of which you hear on the radio. You only keep hearing this shitty. I don't even want to call it shitty because it's still a good song. It's not a bad song, and it's a fun song, and it's but it's their worst song. It's like of their hits. It's one of their worst hits. Next one, number 4, 9 Inch Nails. They only play Head Like a Hole, which is a extreme disservice to the amount of incredible 9 Inch Nails songs there are, which if you go through the catalog, it's vast, and like there's argument over which one of their albums is the best. Now, I am one of the few people that think Year Zero is absolutely incredible 9 Inch Nails. That Year Zero is front to back my favorite album by the 9 Inch Nails, and you don't hear a lot of people say this. You'll hear Pretty Hate Machine. You'll hear Downward Spiral. You hear some people say The Fragile. By far, I love Year Zero, and I think it's not one of those things where I think like you're crazy for having a take either way, but I think Year Zero is just such authentic 9 Inch Nails at its core. The Great Destroyer, Capital G, Hyperpower, Me I'm Not, and it's so like so electronic and so hard and so like, and not that Head Like a Hole is a fucking bad song. Like, it's a great song, but like, man, it's such a disservice to 9 Inch Nails. And of these 5 that I'm listing, the Head Like a Hole song is like the least worst song of these of this bunch, but it's just an extreme disservice to 9 Inch Nails. Like, they have like 50 good songs. All these artists that I'm talking about have like at least 50 high quality songs, and you only hear one on the radio because it's the most radio friendly. Like, I mean, like, so they don't play like what we were talking about before, Bruce Springsteen. Like, they don't play Jungle Land on the radio because it's like a 7-minute long song. Well, 7-minute long songs also happen to be great songs. You can't. How can you make a great song if you're 3 minutes and 5 seconds? Chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus, done. Like, you can't, like, music and art is about breaking conventions and breaking structures. It's not about falling into them, and that's why you don't hear any great music on the radio. And the fifth musician who has the radio has done a incredible disservice to them by only playing select one song is Nirvana and Smells Like Teen Spirit. Now, I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna say, well, they play Lithium. It's like, well, I know, but there's a couple other songs they play by Nirvana, like "Man Who Sold the World." But I just think it's a huge disservice to Nirvana if you go through their entire catalog and you don't think like anything else is great besides those two songs or worthy of being played a lot besides those two songs. Like Incesticide is my favorite album by Nirvana, and that album front to back is fucking incredible, and it's like so authentic and so like Nirvana. It's like, the Hairspray Queen, Mexican seafood, I mean, and these are all I know why it's done, and that the radio has to have its radio friendly songs, but hey, that's why the radio fucking sucks, and that's why, and just another reason why you shouldn't listen to the radio, and why if you listen to the radio or like a particular radio station over another, that I really question your music intelligence. It just shows that you're not deep diving and you don't really like the artists that you say you like. You just like them, like their surface, or like the surface stuff, and like the stuff they give to you on the commercials. Like when I was a DJ and like playing all these all these lesser known singles from artists, like people's minds are blown. It's like, whoa, man, this sounds really great. It's like, yeah, man. It's like, when you find someone that has a good couple songs, like, you go through it. You go through it, and don't call me a stan for that, because you would be incorrectly using that word. But I'm just a fan of people that make great music, and if you're good, I am probably not a fan of you if your best songs are your hits. If you have a lot of other good to great songs that aren't your hits, if your best songs are not your radio friendly hits, I am probably a fan of your work. So that's it. I gotta get to watching my football game. Go UNC -5.5. I hope you guys have a good month of September, and that, everybody, was the World According to Kyle podcast. Take care, y'all.